Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Dee and I will be talking about what you want in a relationship. This is episode 2, guys, and we already did episode 1. So today we're going to take you through some points that will have you thinking about how you should go about finding the right partner. Um, First, I want to say that the first thing you must know before you find a new partner is have the right attitude. Guys, you have to have the right attitude, right? Perception, right? You need to change your belief system, right? Change your belief system. You need to do a checkup, right? Checkup of your entire perception of your attitude, right? And change the way you think. Like, I mean, some people tell themselves a lot of lies about, like, I'm too fat, or I am not good enough, or a certain type of people won't like me, I am not smart enough, stuff like that. But before you can find the right partner, you need to make sure that you have the right attitude. Because if you're feeding yourself lies, you will have negativity going into a relationship, and you won't get the right partner, or attract the right partner to you, because you are already in denial about the whole situation. So the first thing is to change your mindset. Once your mindset is changed, then that will open more possibility for you, right? Do you have anything to say before we get into it?
No, I think you touched on something very important, and it's true. It's what is your internal dialogue? It's true. If it's negative, if you perceive yourself in a negative light, it's very hard to attract the right partner for you there because he'll be attracted or she'll be attracted to the things you don't like about yourself, right? And so, everyone has different tastes. Everyone comes in different shapes and sizes. So, there is that right person out there for everyone. You're not too fat. You're not too thin. You're not too short. You're not too tall. You have
Right.
to
Fat
remember
people,
that.
fat people do have um perfect relationship. People who are not financially stable have perfect. Some of them have relationship. So it doesn't matter. So stop telling yourself all of that. You have to go into a relationship with the correct mindset. With that said, right? No, why you need to know what partner you're looking for. Why? You have to ask yourself that why. Why is it important? Why do you care? Right? Because you don't want to live a life of misery, or you don't want to live a life that you're heartbroken, or somebody breaks your heart, and you're not getting what you want. You're not going to get your needs met. So you want to make sure that you know exactly what you want. And also, I'll say you need to know your needs and your wants are two different things, right? Because sometimes we prejudge. For example, we have something in our head, like we're saying, I want a tall, handsome guy that dresses sharp, right? And so, in fact, when the right person come along, we dismiss them, or we don't see them, because we are focused on that tall, handsome, and sharp looking person, right? But actually, what we need sometimes comes in different packages, right?
Exactly.
So, and then we ended up picking the wrong person. And so we don't want to live a life of suffering, right? Because that's what happens sometimes when you ending up with the wrong person. So a question you need to ask yourself is, what are your type, right? What kind of person you like? What are your type, right?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go into things that you do to help you choose the right person. So the first thing you will do, you think about all the past relationship that you have had, both personal and intimate, right? Relationship. So you're going to think about the relationship you have with your mother. You're going to think about the relationship you had with your father, your friends, your uncle, any relationship that you had that impacted your feelings or impact you in a way that you remember, whether good or bad, because you're going to need both negative and positive to take a closer look at it, right? So when you do that, you're going to ask yourself, why did these relationship impact me so, right? Why did they impact you, right? What are the commonality in these relationship? What are familiar in these relationship? So you're going to say, for example, you have a relationship with your mom, right? And so your relationship with your mom is, she's very affectionate. So it impact you because she's affectionate, she's kind, and she's loving, and that is a positive, right? So what you would do, so you're gonna that this is homework, guys. So you have to write down all the relationship that have impacted you in your life and impacted the feelings in your life, right? So what you do now, you have a list. You have the positive and the negative, right? You write them down, and then you choose the five best, the five negative and five positive, right? And then you look at those five negative and five positive, and you look at the quality, right? The quality, the what did it impact? How did those relationship impact you, or how those are going to be the the deal maker or the deal breaker. So when you go on when you go on a date, right, and you know that you have already have all the five negative and all the five positive, you know when you see a red flag, you know when somebody is being nice to you, or because you have experienced that relationship and it's fresh in your head. So it's almost like you're retraining yourself to say, okay, my father impacted me in this way and I didn't like it. My mom impacted me in this way and I did like it. So now you can recognize the difference in impacting at a negative or positive. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but that's what you're going to do. Do you want to?
So just to clarify, Shireen, what you're trying to say there is when you're writing down the positives from that from the relationships you've had so far,
right,
you're going to pick the five strongest,
right. There's five
and
strongest.
then
Yeah.
you're going to list the negatives, the things that really hit you wrongly or upset you that you don't really want in your life again, and then you're going
Right.
to pick those five, and those are your five deal breakers.
Right. Deal
Yes.
breaker. You cannot live with those, and you will not compromise with those.
No
Right.
compromising.
No compromise.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? So now, when you have that list and you know what are your deal breaker and your deal maker, then you can go, you're ready to date, right? So whenever you are out there dating, right away, because your brain, your brain is activate, right? So, but these are not just lists that you're going to take lightly, guys. You have to dig deep. You have to do some questions. You have to ask your friends. You have to really sit down and think about it, right? Like you could have a teacher that impacted you, right? And she have such a great impact on you that you carry through your life, and you have to ask yourself, why did she impact you so? Because she was kind, she was gentle, she was, and so that is what you're going to use to guide you into that, into making the right choices.
Right. Right. It isn't a learn as you go at this stage of the game. It
No,
is yeah, you're doing, like you say, the homework so that you're prepared for your exam because you want
exactly.
to get an A. That's right.
So I'm going to ask a question here, and the question is, What is a deal breaker or deal maker that you know you cannot go into a relationship with? So say something happened to you, it rubbed you the wrong way, you know for sure you are this is non-tolerable, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't want it. So you have to, there's things like that that you know you don't want. But some of us, even though we know it, we
Mm-hmm.
still go into the relationship and thinks that we can change that person, which you can't.
Now, okay, I think that's a great point we forgot to make, that we should make from the very beginning here, is please do not go into a relationship thinking you're going to change somebody.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really, you're not. You're not. That's not how you should go into a relationship at all. So, where you have a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, say the person looks exactly as you like. You're physically right, spot on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That it shouldn't overshadow. Okay. So the physical, that's the deal maker, maybe, shouldn't overshadow the deal breaker that that person might have. For example, for me, if the person shows any form of arrogance, it doesn't matter how good they look, it's a deal break. The deal breaker is weighs more than the deal maker in
Maker.
this case, right? So don't talk yourself into things. When you see the deal breaker, if somebody hits one of your 5 deal breakers, don't make excuses for that deal breaker because, oh, well, they've got this deal maker. So there's a balance that you have to, yeah, that you have to really look at. Don't overlook the deal breaker based on the deal maker. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. Because you need to put more weight on the negative than the positive in terms of, okay, as she said, if he's arrogant and it rub her the wrong way, but she likes a guy that looks physical, his physical criteria is exotic.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's arrogant. And whether he looks good or not, she have to say, well, he's arrogant because that is one of her deal
Mm-hmm.
breaker. She cannot go with that guy because he's not what she want. They're not in line,
That's
right?
right. That's
They're
right.
not. She's not. He's not. So the next thing you have to ask, okay, I want to take this conversation to let us think some more. Okay, so having a type, because some people have a type or
Mm-hmm.
they have something in their head going into a relationship. They already know how the person should look, or some people are like that, right? They prejudged, like they see somebody and they just prejudge them, right? For example, they, as I said, they could prejudge the physical criteria. If the person not shaped good, skinny and tall and handsome or whatnot, they don't feel that, okay, they can give that person a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some people are attractive, yes, but but because some people are attractive, and that is like, because sometimes some people are just vain and critical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
they're vain and critical. So if you have to ask yourself, am I vain and critical? Because these are things that you have to ask yourself also going into a relationship.
That's a good
Okay?
point.
You have
Mm-hmm.
to. You have to ask yourself if you're vain and critical. Sometimes we want something that we need to fix within ourselves,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
right? So yeah. So a woman want, for example, say a woman want a man, and the man, she wants the man that has money, right? She want a man that have money. But if you really dig deep down in her soul, she really don't want a man that have money per se, like a sugar daddy or any such thing. She wants somebody who is financially responsible, so that she doesn't have to worry about food, right?
So,
She doesn't
okay. Yeah.
worry about her meal. She doesn't have to worry about ending up living under a coconut tree, for
She's
example.
looking for security.
She's
She's
looking,
like,
she's looking for security, right?
right.
She's looking for security. And another example I can point this out is if some guys they have some they want a woman for sex.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not actually it's all about sex for them. Maybe they need somebody to let them feel sexually valued or validated, because some
Mhm.
people just need that validation,
Yeah.
right? But then maybe they can't verbalize it, just like the girl. She thinks she wants a sugar daddy. It's not really a sugar daddy she just wants somebody who are financially stable, and
Right.
nothing is wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
And so those are things that you have to think about. Another question for you is a certain trait and quality you look into for a person, like the trait and the quality. You want to talk about that, Dee?
Well, what do you mean? Certain traits
Right,
and
because remember, a trait is something that is innate, right? Can't change it. You have a certain trait about you. If you're arrogant, right?
yes, and so okay, so there's the of course negative that you're going to have as your deal breaker, and positive as your deal maker. And it used to be very common for the first thing that I know people would put on their list was humor, good sense of humor. Um, and I would find that kindness never made the list, or it was so low down on
Mm-hmm.
people's list. It was but now when I looking back, it's what seems to be the most important. You want somebody who is innately kind. The one thing, and the deal breaker would be somebody who is rude.
Right. And
So, it's like you go to a restaurant, okay? For example, two different dates. One date, if the waiter isn't fast enough, the date is like clicking his fingers, come over, impatient, whatever. That's rude. I don't want to be with somebody like that. Deal
right.
breaker. I don't care if he has $1 million, $2 million. I don't care. It's not good enough. And then you meet the guy. Maybe he's not physically what I was looking for, but the kindness, the consideration, it's refreshing. It feels good. That deal maker overshadows maybe the fact that he's not the perfect physical quality, that I'm looking for or whatever. But see, people grow on you. I think what we forget is that the innate traits are stronger than like the inside traits are stronger than the what you see on the outside.
Oh, you're right. Exactly. And so you want to look for those traits, the quality, because sometimes you can't prejudge a person. Sometimes they're nice and kind and gentle, but they don't have the appearance that you have in your head, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the physical criteria that you want, but they're kind. So you got to give those people a chance, right? And we're going to look at the flip side of it now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you want somebody who is attractive, who looks good and all that. You have to ask yourself, what is it you have to offer that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what is your ideal mate? Why would your ideal mate be attracted to you? You have to ask yourself that.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of us, we want all these ideal mate. Now we need to put ourselves into a position that our ideal mate would be attracted to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have that quality that attract those ideal mate. And some of us, oh, we stink. We need to work on some of the some of our behavior, some of our attitude. Lots of things we have to work on. I mean, something in nature can't change it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind that you too have to do the job. You have to do the job. You have to know which one you fall short on. So you have all these traits, you have all these behaviors, and you have to look in within yourself and say to yourself, how do I fall short, right? And be clear which one you want to change and which one you want to keep, right?
That's right.
Because, for example, some people like me, I am very, what would you say is something that you don't think I can change, Dee?
Oh.
I like to ask people because there is some things about yourself, like I have a strong personality. I can't
Hmm.
change that.
No,
I
but
cannot change that for a person. So, but if I want to date a guy that goes to the gym and who eats healthy, I can change that, right? And that will benefit me. So you don't want to change something that won't benefit you, right? You need to
that's
change
yes.
something that benefits you, but also benefit your ideal partner.
Yes,
But
because
it must first benefit you.
right, right. And then you can grow together. So that's the other, you're raising another interesting point. It's what are you bringing to the table? You can't really ask for something so grand if you're not bringing grand yourself,
Exactly. So
right?
you have to, right. So you have to be realistic, right? Because you two have to bring something to the table and you two have to work on yourself,
Hmm.
right? And as I said in the beginning, if you have to have the right attitude,
And you can't lie. And we've talked about this before.
right?
It's just it's not fair to hide major issues and then hope that, you'll I guess suck them in down the road and then, then they'll just accept you even with your shortcomings that could be quite severe, like addictions or whatnot that you hide. That's not fair. So you should be really upfront from the beginning.
Right. And if you know one of the things that you need to work on is
Mhm.
your arrogant person, your angry person, right? And
Mhm.
you know that your ideal partner won't like that. That is something you can work on.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You have to work on something. But remember, you only can change. So you change things that is going to improve your life, regardless of what the other people think.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. You can't
Right?
you have to want to make the change. Nobody's going to change you. It's very
Mm-hmm.
hard to change someone. You have to want to do it. So if you want that positivity around you, then you have to work on your positivity. You can't be a negative person trying to find a positive person, hoping that positive person will change you. You have to come into it with that change
And
that
with
you've
that,
worked, yeah,
go ahead, Dee.
that they've worked on it. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. With that said, we can ask this question: mistake we are making that is keeping us from meeting our soulmate. What are some of the mistakes we're making that is keeping us from um, meeting our soulmate?
Well, one of the things that we could be doing is not learning from past relationships and just hoping instead of putting the work into change because or improve because a lot of people find the effort too much. They just hope if they start from scratch again, this next person will help them, or it'll just be better next time. And we just keep going in the same types of relationships over and over again because those things just keep following you. So when you notice you are going from one failed relationship to another, you've got to start looking at yourself.
Right. That's it. You have to start looking at yourself. You have to start making change to attract the right partner. Okay. So we have discussed in the beginning about the right attitude, because if you don't have the right attitude and if you have some prejudged about yourself, like you're fat, you're skinny, you're useless, you're not
Mm-hmm.
good enough, all those stuff. And if you're going in there, you're limiting yourself. So you work on yourself, right? And then, as I said, you ask question your family members. Sometimes you need to ask people, how do they see you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at relationship in your life that had impacted you, good or bad, positive or negative,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then that is going to help you, right, meet the right person, because you're going to make sure that the ones that impacted you negatively, you don't choose those ones, or
Mm-hmm.
things that rub you the wrong way, you don't choose those ones, because I've seen it too often that people know what they want and they still go into a relationship knowing full well that they don't want it, but
Because those
still do it
negatives
because-
feel familiar. It gives a
right,
familiar feel. Yes. The other
right.
thing that we do make mistakes on that I'm thinking of now is that sometimes or oftentimes we are looking for a partner that not necessarily we would genuinely be happy with, but we also start thinking about, oh, would my family like that person? Would my friends like that person? And you have to, and then you are again stepping away from what you really need. And you have to remember that it's your life, your individual needs. It's not theirs. It's not your family's. It's not your friends. It's what you need.
Exactly. It's not, it's all about you, because marrying the wrong person is too much trouble. Sometimes kids get involved, your family get involved, and you sometimes you lost a whole decade or waste time
Mm-hmm.
on on all those relationships that didn't even, when you look back, you waste 10 years of your life for what? Not
Mm-hmm.
no reason. And you could have avoided it, right? And
Right.
some of us know that going into the relationship, then you know in your heart this is not what you want, because let me try explain something to you. Now, sometimes, say you go for a job interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say you're a boss. Let's say you're a boss and you go for, and you are employing somebody to fit a position. You have to look at it like that, right? If
Mm-hmm.
that person is coming into that job just because it's a job, but they don't love that job and they don't have the same value like the company and want to work with that company, and everybody aligns together, you will notice they will have a lot of different turnovers, because that person coming into that job and then they get bored, they're gone, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not aligned, they're not working together. So you cannot, sometimes, I'm going to say this, I don't want to say this, but sometimes love is not all, right? Love
Mm-hmm.
is some of it, but love is not all. You have to meet, or you have to choose a partner that is going into your direction, that you and them have the same value and you have the same goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can talk to them about the goal and values, things like that, right? You and them going in the same direction. You're not thinking about going to Mexico and they are thinking about going to Spain. You have the same goal, because the bottom line is, two people come together, they have to want the same things, right? And you have to
Yes.
understand that. If they don't understand, and sometimes, yes, you can make adjustment, because we said that you have dirty ways you need to change, and those are the just adjustment you're going to make. But the only adjustment you're going to make is if it is benefiting you. You're not going to do it for that person, because you can't do things for person in the long run. It's not going to suffice, it's not going to hold. You need to make those adjustments for yourself, and because
Mm-hmm.
it benefit you. So if you want to lose weight to gain that ideal partner, you have to make that decision based on you, and it's benefiting you.
Yes. Yes. It's not you don't make these decisions based on someone else. You have to want to either get healthier or um I don't know. It's you have to want that for you. That's exactly what Shireen is saying.
Mm-hmm.
and then it will work. You will know, you'll have a clearer idea of who you can be with instead of making accommodations. And I can't tell you how many times people are like, I'm just going to online date and the right person, I'll figure it out as I go. And it doesn't work. And then they wonder why it's one failed relationship after one failed date after another. And
Fail.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And no, and you can't be afraid to just know what your truth is.
Right.
And don't, the mistake, another mistake that keeps us from meeting our soulmate is we choose somebody too quickly out of fear of being alone. We don't want to be alone. So, you might have gone on 4 different dates and now you start thinking, wow, I went on 4 dates. None of them were quite right. So I'm going to pick the best out of that 4 because I'm getting tired of it, right? And you
Right.
settle. And yet, if you had gone on the 5th date, that could have been the one. But you stopped too early because you started settling and compromising.
Right. And you don't want to do that. So I have to say, know what you want, be clear.
Yes,
Some of us think that we know what we want, but we really don't know what we want.
that's right. That's why you have to write things down.
Yeah. Right? The
Don't
type
keep it in your head. They have like a wish list. They always tell you this vision board and all this nonsense that I've heard over and over the years. And it's great. It works for some, and I'm happy about that. But then take it seriously. Put that vision board up. Write what you want. Put some pictures up that you're looking for. What are the traits you're looking for?
what are
Uh,
the deal breakers? What are the deal
yeah,
makers?
yeah, and don't be too easy about it. Oh my goodness, don't be, oh, I can't say that. Oh, I can't say I want somebody really good looking. Yeah, you can say that. We grow up always being told, I've been told the same thing over and over and over. You can't have it all. How many times have we been told that in our lives? That, you got it pretty good. You should be thankful. You can't have it all. People, you can have it all if you really want it.
The next thing is how to become the type of person your dream mate is looking for. We talk about that, right? Make
Mm-hmm.
changes. Some of you want to go, you want this perfect person, and you are not even perfect yourself, and you have lots of things to work on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Remember, you're you need to be the best version of you. You can't lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Improve the things in your life that needs to be fixed, and some of the things in your life that you need to embrace. You can't change who you are, right? You can't
Right.
change the traits that God give to you, right?
Right. But a good rule of thumb too is take a moment, sometime, here and there, meditate and bring yourself back to times where you felt good with someone. Just bring yourself there, and then that is the feeling you're looking for
Yeah.
when you're with someone.
And look at that person trait, and that will give you a good idea of who you should be looking for. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to touch on this one, D. It's some of us, we self sabotage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to rewrite your brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Change the things that is not working, right?
Okay, so this self-sabotage, this is a good thing if this is who you are. And a lot of people go through this, and I'll tell you why. No one has had, very few have had a perfect childhood. Okay,
Right.
very few. And there's a lot of divorce, a lot of separation, and broken marriages, broken relationships, single parent, like kids going from one parent to the other, all those things. And how that affects you is sometimes we have abandonment issues, or And those are big ones, or rejection, or things like they do stay with you. Sabotage starts rearing its ugly head when things could be going really well in your relationship. And suddenly you could start to feel like the rug is going to get pulled out from under my feet. And then you start sabotaging the relationship by putting it to the test,
Right.
right? Is this person going to leave me if I do this? Is this person going to leave me if I do that? Because we start to fear and we want to get ahead of being abandoned this time. So we start initiating that. You understand what I'm saying? We
Mm-hmm.
start initiating it before our partner, in our minds, before our partner uh, starts it, basically, or leaves. So,
Let me even give you I don't know if this would be would clear it up a bit. Say, for example, something happened to you in the past,
mhm,
and or you have a relationship that the guy cheat on you,
mhm,
and you have this really good guy. You met him. He never give you any reason to think that he's gonna cheat on you.
mhm,
What you did every time, you just panic. It's almost like if you see the guy on his phone, you're panicking, right?
mhm.
And the guy believe that you're possessive or something like that, but it is all because you have gone through a relationship, so you're overprotective, right?
Right.
So your self-sabotage, nothing didn't happen. So
Mhm.
you're making something out of nothing, right? Your thought, your mind, your past, you're bringing your past into this
Yes.
relationship that shouldn't have been,
Yes.
right? That is why I say try to rewire your brain, change the things that are not working for you, right? So you have to look at your past relationship,
Mhm.
things you've been doing in the past, you got to change it. Your thoughts and belief will affect your action. Change the
Right.
things that are not working for you. I can't state that enough.
That's right. That's right.
If it's not working for you, get rid of it. If you keep doing the same thing, you get the same result.
That's right.
Right? So if you have a relationship and you keep going over in and every relationship you have ending up in divorce or ending up beyond that person is not together 6 months, it's over. You keep doing the same thing. That's why you're getting the same result. You
That's right.
have to make changes, but you have to make changes that benefit you. You can't make change for people because you're going to be going back to your old self because you didn't make the change for you. That is why they said you can't change people. People have to willing to be to change themselves. That's why I'm stating that. And that's
And
what
in,
you have to understand.
mhm. And interestingly enough, when you're making that list about the positive things that have impacted you in your relationships and the negative things that have impacted you in your relationship, write down the positive things as well that during those relationships your partner has said about you. And also write down the negative things your partner
What
has
you
said
said about
about you. Sometimes did you hear the word, you're very defensive over and over? Did you hear the words, you're very hypocritical? Did you hear you're very argumentative?
you're critical.
That you don't know how to apologize? Or, like take those into consideration. Like really think about it. Where they're not always said just to hurt your feelings. These things come out in arguments sometimes because you are actually being hurtful and maybe not know it. And so you have to really listen. It's not fun thinking about all the times we've been told awful things. Not all of them will be true, but the ones that have been repetitive from not in the same relationship, but say the second relationship, yet you're too controlling. Did you hear that in your first relationship as well?
Right? You
Then
have to make changes. That's what
write
that
those
is.
down. Yes.
Right? And then you want to also, a good thing to do too, is to ask your friend and your family, how they see you.
Mhm.
What kind of
Now,
person? Because some of us, um we have some preconceived belief about ourselves. We don't even
mhm,
know ourselves, right? But as I said, if you want to find the right partner, you have to make sure that you do your homework. And how
mhm,
you going to do that? I'm going to restate this.
mhm,
You are going to choose negative and positive. You're going to you're going to look at people in your life that has impacted you. It could be your spouse or your ex-wife or whatever they impacted you negatively. You write down some of the things, right? Your teacher, your principal, your old great grandfather, you love the guy, and you want to know why you love that guy so much, what personality trait he had that you liked, right?
mhm,
Things like that. And you write the ones that stands out to you, that impact your feelings, right?
mhm,
And then that is what you're going to make be the deal breaker and the deal maker. And I'm going to
mhm.
close now because we're at 41 minutes. I can't believe it's 41 minutes already.
Neither can I.
Now, finding the right partner, guys, you have to be yourself. Don't
Mhm,
seek perfection,
mhm.
right? Some of us want some perfect person. Take it slow, right? Slow it down. Dia made a point of that. She said slow. Sometimes if you go to the fourth date and the fourth date didn't work out, don't choose somebody from that. You have to take it slow.
Yeah, this is an HGTV where we're looking at houses and we have to choose from three houses.
Right. That is awful. I wouldn't choose. I would not choose. Then figure out yourself. So you have to know yourself. Don't settle. Guys, you cannot settle. Look
Mhm,
for someone who accept you for you.
mhm,
Oftentimes we try to look for somebody who don't accept us.
mhm,
Put the work in, guys. You have to put the work in. You
mhm.
cannot settle. You
No,
can't. Right? Do you have any last
we
minute
want
things?
to. um, and it doesn't hurt to ask couples who have been together for a long time that you might know who are very happy together. What worked for them? What's their secret? It's always good to get some real inside information from others who are living the success of have with their soulmate, with their companion, their partner. Those couples that laugh a lot, enjoy each other's company. How is this? How did it happen? What did they look for? Ask them.
In a relationship, I'm going to say this. In a relationship, you are everybody in that relationship needs their needs to be met, right?
Hmm.
Because when you go into a relationship, you want your needs to be met. You have different kind of needs: your mental need, your emotional needs, your affectionate needs, your social needs, financial needs, right?
Hmm.
Now when you're looking for a partner, or you looking for a partner, sometimes we're not capable of giving those things. You need to recognize that, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes we're not capable because sometimes we're not in the right mindset. You have to understand, when you're not in the right mindset, it's not right for you. Say you're just start your career and you're doing certain things, and you just don't have enough time to put in the work for a relationship. Don't bother start the relationship, because it's not going to go well, because you're not going to give that person what they need, right? But here I use the word need, because everybody has needs, and those
Hmm.
needs are to they want to be met. You have your need, the person that you're going to go out with is going to have need, right? And so if you know that you do not have that, you don't have the energy at that point to start the relationship, don't start it. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is that some of us do not have this skill. I'm going to use the word skill set for a relationship, because skill set sounds like a job. But yes, guys, it is, because we don't know how to have a relationship. We
Mhm.
don't know. There's so much resources out there. You need to go read books and get the right skill set to have a relationship. When I say skill set, I meant like communication. If you can't communicate, how can you have a relationship?
Mhm. That's
Right?
right.
If you have a job, you have to have the right skill set to do the job. And some of us, we are in relationship and we don't even know how to behave in a relationship. We don't have boundaries for ourselves nor for the other person. So how can you have a good relationship or a lasting relationship when you don't even have the skill set? Some of us don't have the social skill for a relationship.
Mhm.
And so that is what you have to, when I say certain things that you can change, those are the things I'm talking about. You should be able to work on, because some of us comes from broken home and we do not have anybody to imitate. We never see our parents living a loving,
No.
loving life. Or
Right.
we don't know what that look like.
Mhm.
Right?
That's very
You never
true.
see your father hug your mother. You never see your father treat your mother with respect. When she
Mhm.
cook the food, if the food have too much salt in there, sometimes that man would say, "Oh, the food have too much salt in there," and he didn't appreciate. I love it, darling, or softly. Those are skill set for a relationship. And some of you guys don't have that. It's not innate in you. You don't know how to be nice.
Yeah. That's right.
Right. And some of those are some of the things that you're not being successful in your relationship, because some of you don't even know when you're rude.
The truth is, it's not difficult to be nice, but for
Right.
some reason, people don't put that first and foremost. They put their upsets and their own needs first instead of just being nice.
Right. And they don't know, but some of them don't have the skill set though, D.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
don't know how to be nice. Or for example, they don't. They don't. You see, we are giving them too much. We are saying that they know. They don't. Some people just don't, because if you live into a tumultuous relationship all your life, your mother and your father, it was awful.
Mhm.
How is it you're going to take what you learned from your parents for the first 18 years and go out and be nice to somebody?
You won't.
You're going
You'll
to be in that
imitate that. Yeah. Yeah.
right. You need therapy.
Definitely. Definitely.
So those are the things that you can change. For some of the things that you can't change. If you shape a certain way, you can't change that. There's just that's what it is, right?
Mhm.
You can't. You just have to be right. You can't be somebody who you're not.
It's still beautiful. Like this is the only, like let's not get caught up in the whole, you have to have a certain body shape
Right,
because that's what media tells us. That's not, it's ridiculous, right?
right,
Yeah. No, no. You can't change that, but you can change your perception of situations. You can learn to truly be kind. And oftentimes, like what you were saying, Shireen, when you're brought up in a very dysfunctional setting and you don't see those things being played out between parents, or you don't see a healthy relationship ever, it is very difficult to exude those traits when you're in a relationship of your own. Most of the time, it's fear. Like you go into a relationship already trying to protect yourself.
correct, right. Exactly. You said it beautiful, protecting yourself. You don't need to protect yourself. That's why I'm saying in the beginning, I said having the right attitude when you go into the relationship,
Yeah.
right? Anyhow, D, we are at 50 minutes, and I would love to hear if anybody have anything to say in the comment box, because we are done. We are going to wrap it up, guys.
Okay.
This video is going to be on YouTube. Shireen Spence, look me up. And we have discussed a lot of stuff. That is very helpful. But sometimes you have to go back and watch a video in order to get the real understanding of that video, because I'm telling you, this video can help you if you do what we say. It can
It's
help.
just a guide. Yeah, it's a
It's a
guide.
guide.
And
It's a
and
guide.
understand that you're not alone, and we're all a
Right.
work in progress. And we ourselves have been through relationships, and again, it's still a work in progress. We're all here for each other, but what we're trying to help people with is, if you are looking to get into a relationship, this is, instead of having to work through the difficulties because now you're stuck in a relationship, we're trying to prevent that for you.
Anyhow, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you on Monday. Deanne Shireen Q&A. So we're
Look
just gonna
forward to it. Yeah.
right. We're just gonna chit chat on Monday. You can tell us about your relationship. We can talk about certain things. If you have, you can text us, right? We're just gonna chit chat. That's what we're gonna do on Monday. Okay,
Sounds
guys?
good.
So have a good night.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you, Shireen. Talk
Thank you.
soon. See you
Okay, bye.
Monday. Bye bye.